This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good morning. You're watching Sunrise Extra right now. It is 7 o'clock on your Thursday morning, the first day of school. I'm sure all those kids getting every last minute they can of sleep. They've been sleeping in all summer.
I was that kid that woke up early because I was way too excited.
No, not me.
We were complete opposite.
Not me. I think we figured that out by now. You read all of your books. I was reading Spark Notes. You were up early. I was sleeping in a little bit too late and still showed up before the bell rang, though.
And that's all that matters.
Exactly.
As long as you're paying attention and you're following the rules and you're there, you're good, right? And also learning. Can't forget that either.
Right.
For those of you heading out for today, we're still watching a little bit of that patchy fog. Thankfully, we have seen significant improvements, but if you look at our camera in Grayson County and into Adair County, you can see some of that patchy fog there. But notice just how light it is. Yeah, that's still something that can slow you down, especially with those kids at the bus stops in the mornings, but overall, thankfully, not a widespread or really bad issue to deal with. A couple of those clouds trying to push their way into southern Indiana, but those have been falling apart as they get closer to our area. Your temperatures are in the 60s and low 70s. We are dealing with that muggy air in place. It is an August morning, no surprise there. This afternoon, we'll be near 90, watching for a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for later on today. Overall, though, most of us just sunny and dry, and we'll be keeping an eye on more of that heat building into the upcoming weekend. I'll let you know how long this particular heat wave looks to last in my full forecast.
All right, thanks, Tawana. And this morning, more than 97,000 students are getting ready to head back to the classroom. The buses are starting their routes as it's the first day of school for JCPS. And my co-anchor, Shannon Kogan, is live at the JCPS Nichols bus compound. Things are starting to pick up this morning, Shannon. We heard the beeping of the buses, the rumbling as they're getting going. I'm sure a lot of action there this morning.
There is. We're seeing buses pull out. They have 613 routes getting all of those students to 165 schools. So you're going to be seeing a lot of buses on the road. If you have any questions still about your child's bus route, they have the hotline open right now. The number is 485-RIDE. So they have people there taking the call. They're going to be staying open too until 7 o'clock tonight, answering any questions that you may have. You can also check out the bus teller daily throughout the first week of school. And new this year, parents who drive their students to school will no longer get those stipend payments this year. Those were made available to families last year who lost bus transportation. District leaders say the stipends could not be a part of this year's school budget. Now, there are 3 staggered start times for JCPS. It varies by the school. The first group of kids start at 7:30, at 8:40. The next set of schools start. The first 2 start times include all of the middle and high schools. At 9:40, the last group of elementary kids start their day. We have a full list of all of those start times at wave3.com. Now, something interesting to think about, this is going to be the first year for those babies who were born in 2020 during the height of the COVID pandemic for them to start school. So they're heading off to kindergarten. I'm sure there will be a lot of tears for kids and their parents, too. Wave News reporter Marissa Burke is live this morning at Crumbs Lane Elementary School with more.
Good morning. Some of those tears might be wiping away really quick because we know that JCPS has been preparing these kindergartners for today. They host a Ready for K camp. Kids how to stand in line, working on their reading and and math skills. So we know that this group of kids is special because they were born during the pandemic. Kids Count data shows that over the years, Kentucky is doing well preparing kids for kindergarten. The numbers dropped slightly after COVID, but educators are noticing that this group of kids is eager to learn just like any others. Some studies say that this group may not show any signs struggling adjusting to the classroom because they didn't have to transition from in-classroom to virtual learning. One principal described what she's noticing about this incoming group.
I was really surprised in a very good way that when they came to our orientations, they just look like any other kindergartners that we have. You know, we started some Burkingham's testing, some screening of the students while they were here, and I mean, we're pleasantly surprised. They're ready.
The Greater Louisville Project shared a report that says that Louisville students have consistently scored near the state average for kindergarten readiness. So we know that that data is going to mean a lot as we follow these kindergartners from this first day of school all the way to graduation. But we got a lot of time before we get there. You see, things are starting to pick up here at Crumbs Lane. So hopefully I'll get to talk to some of those eager kindergartners and hear about how they're feeling on their first day of school. Back to you.
Thank you, Marissa. So this is the first day for K through 12. Early childhood education will go back on August 28th. Now, this is also the first day for the new superintendent, Dr. Brian Yearwood. He's been on the job now for 38 days. He was the superintendent for Columbia Public Schools in Missouri before he joined JCPS. We spoke to him earlier today. He says he's so excited to meet all the students and the teachers, and one of his goals this year is to boost academic performance.
I'm very big on academic growth. I want every child in this district, all 96,000, to grow. That means at least a year of academic growth in a year's time. In math, in reading, our students should be growing and learning, and that's a common expectation. Of course, there are other issues that come up, you know, transportation and things like that, but we're working through that.
He also said he has a message for all of the parents, and that is to please get your students to school. This is the first year of his 4-year contract. His base salary is $350,000 per year. The contract also includes $30,000 each year in retirement benefits and $750 per month for auto allowance. And he's going to be heading off to several of the JCPS schools today. His first stop will be Crumbs Lane Elementary, where we just saw Marissa. There are some new laws in place now for JCPS this year, as well as other Kentucky schools. One new law requires a moment of silence at the start of every public school day. That law says it should last 1 to 2 minutes every day, and during that time, students are required to remain seated and silent. They can reflect, meditate, or pray. Another new law requires elementary schools to teach cursive writing. The goal is for students to be proficient by the time they reach 5th grade. Research suggests that learning cursive can enhance brain development, improve language, memory, and fine motor skills. This is the first time cursive will be a mandatory part of Kentucky schools since 2009. And one new law can make it easier for kindergarten and first graders to be held back. The law will require a first grader be held back if they do not pass a universal reading test. That test will be given at the end of the school year. Lawmakers were able to override a veto from Governor Beshear to pass the law. The governor says this law will punish young learners and have unintended consequence. And another big change, no cell phones at all, and JCPS board members made that all day long. So that means that students can't take out their cell phone during lunch or during recess. We'll go back to Olivia for more on that.
Yeah, Shannon, that state law comes and limits cell phone use during instructional time. District leaders say schools have been updating policies because of the change. And Wave News reporter Rob Wells has been digging deeper into the impacts of the change and how it will affect parents' ability to communicate with their students. Rob?
Olivia, good morning. The district says that while cell phones may be useful, they really don't fit the bill when it comes to the ABCs of basic learning. The Jefferson County Board of Education voting to ban cell phones in schools for this academic year. You may recall in a 6-1 vote in May, the board voted that JCPS students wouldn't be allowed to use phones during the school day, and that includes lunchtime. The district had considered 2 other options that would have only banned cell phones during class time and in hallways, but would have allowed them at lunch. Results of a survey, though, showed that more than half of teachers and about 30% of parents supported the ban for the entire day.
Well, the cell phones, we do have students who bring cell phones all the way, I would say beginning maybe 3rd grade, all of our 5th graders. We've always handled that where the cell phones are not in the classrooms. They have to be off and in their backpacks and in their lockers. So that's not going to be a big change for us. We have really worked very hard to keep that distraction from our classrooms for a very long time.
Only one board member, that was Linda Duncan, voted against the ban. She said she's been through similar proposals in the past and says that sometimes when somebody breaks those new policies, it becomes really tough to spot because they're handled on a case-by-case basis. She added that a ban poorly enforced really isn't a ban at all. JCPS board members say students will be able to keep their phones on them, but the schools may require them to be kept in a pouch, even a backpack. Olivia, back to you.
Rob, thank you. And finally, we want to see your photos from your kids' first day back to school. You can send those to us through the Wave News app or upload them to the wave3.com website, and stay with the Sunrise team tomorrow for our full back to school team coverage. A lot to talk about the morning after the first day. After the break, lawmakers making changes to how JCPS operates. We have those details coming up in 2 minutes. As JCPS students return to the classroom today, Kentucky Supreme Court justices could make a ruling that could completely shift how the district operates. The JCPS Board of Education is challenging the law created by Senate Bill 1. It was passed in 2022. Specifically, the law gives the JCPS superintendent more power over day-to-day operations, and the school board would be in charge of long-term policy and planning. Advocates say it will speed up the decision-making process in the district, but critics argue its implications are too far-reaching.
There are a lot of statutes in the KRS that could be imperiled, laws that apply in class of ones like Fayette County and Jefferson County, and I think the court really appreciated the potential implications. This could be a blockbuster case if they were to throw out Senate Bill 1.
And if the court says that this statute is involved with the management of the common schools, that's all that the case will stand for. If the court wants to go beyond that and to revisit some of its earlier decisions, there's a very clear pathway for the court to do that in a rational way.
If Senate Bill 1 is overturned, Attorney General Russell Coleman says the next step could be to declare the Jefferson County-Louisville merger unconstitutional. Supreme Court justices heard arguments yesterday and as of now have not made a decision. A few more updates from JCPS for the start of the new school year. It's the first time incoming 6th grade students will have to walk through metal detectors at school. JCPS leaders also want parents to check their kids' vaccination records, especially the MMR vaccine. If your child child needs the vaccine, there will be school-located clinics opening in the coming months. Some classroom assignments at Moore High School will be adjusted after a fire broke out in the building last week. The fire happened on Friday at Moore's Medical Arts building. That fire was minor, but JCPS says there was quite a bit of smoke damage. The good news here, no one was hurt, but JCPS says some of the classrooms will be closed for the first few months of school so crews can repair the damage and repaint the room. Louisville's Fire Arson Bureau and JCPS are investigating what caused that fire. When students return to Bates Elementary today to begin that new school year, they'll notice a new addition. It's a new inclusive playground. It has several play features in the Bates Elementary colors of blue and yellow. Bates students started raising money for the project back in 2023. JCPS not the only district headed back today. Hardin, Spencer, and Greene counties will welcome students back. Same goes for several Catholic schools marking their first day either today or Friday. Looking at next week, Breckenridge, Bullitt, and Oldham will all be in their new school year. We have a full list of start dates over on wave3.com. And we want to see your kids' pictures of their first day back to school, so you can send those to us through the Wave News app or upload them to the wave3.com website. Love those back to school pictures. Love the back to school outfits. I have pictures wearing matching bows for all of my back to school. Well, when I was really young, I stopped like when I got older, of course. But yeah, we had uniforms and I still had to be stylish.
No, I understand that. And if anybody has seen my back to school photo that I posted,
so cute.
That uniform I'm wearing, my mom made it. She made my uniforms when I was a kid. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Listen, this is where I get my crafty stuff from. It's my mama. So yeah, all those kids excited for that first day, and of course the forecast is a big part of that. I know a lot of bus drivers were making sure everything was okay too, because they have to deal with that and make sure all the kids are safe. This morning, here's what we're dealing with. This is in Bullitt County, right at Lebanon Junction on 65. You can see that fog there, that layer of fog, and this is what many of us are contending with. And this is also what I mean in terms of patchy. Right in front of the camera, just fine. Off into the distance, that fog, and once you get right beyond that, you're just fine yet again. So we'll keep an eye on more of that patchy fog around for portions of the region this morning. But now that the sun is up, we're going to watch things quickly improving, especially as we get closer to about 8 and 9 o'clock. Right now on a SkyTrack camera in Jeffersonville looking towards downtown Louisville, it's all about the blue sky there, as temperatures are sitting mainly in the 60s outside of Louisville. In the metro, we're still holding on to more of those upper 60s and low 70s to start the day. High pressure hanging out with us right now. It's going to stay with us for the rest of the day, and that is why we're looking at more of that heat building, because not only do we have the sunshine in our forecast, we also have to talk about that southerly wind that will be in place. That will help to shove your temperatures to near 90 degrees for a high this afternoon. But with just enough moisture plus that sunshine in place for today, we do see a chance for a couple of isolated downpours across the area. This is not a widespread issue, but for those of you who do see some of these downpours, they can produce some locally heavy rain. They can produce some gusty winds. You could even see up to an inch of rainfall with them, but a lot of us not seeing a drop of rain for today. And rain chances looking even lower once we get into tomorrow, and then the weekend as temperatures start to climb. We'll be back into the low 90s for more of us as we head into your Friday. We'll see that really sticking around for Saturday, Sunday, and through the majority of next week. I have been watching rain chances towards next Tuesday and Wednesday, and it does look like that front is going to move towards us and kind of wash out. So in terms of rain chances for right now, for Tuesday and Wednesday, they're not looking incredibly impressive. This is something, though, we will keep an eye on as we head over the next couple of days. So don't be surprised if you see those temperature changing or even the rain chances changing as we get towards the middle of next week. Beyond that system, yes, the summer heat, that's not going anywhere. We're going to be talking about more of those low 90s for next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it does look like it will keep this heat around all the way into the middle of the month. So for those of you who love the summer weather, here you go. This is my gift to you.
August is all for them.
All for them.
Thanks, Tawana. Still to come here on Sunrise Extra, getting the kids to school on time might be a challenge with construction happening in the area. We'll tell you everything you need to know, so hopefully you're not caught in traffic. A man police say shot and killed a person in the Buchel neighborhood is expected to appear in court today. Adrian Offit Jr. is charged with murder, burglary, and strangulation. Police say he shot and killed a man at an apartment building on Norbrook Drive just before 6 o'clock yesterday morning. The name of the man killed has not been released. Investigators have also not released a motive for the shooting, but Offit's arrest slip says the strangulation is domestic violence related. LMPD is looking for a shooter after a man was hit by a bullet in the Algonquin neighborhood last night. It happened near Moore Court, near the intersection of West Hill and South 13th Streets. The victim was taken to the hospital. LMPD says he is expected to survive. If you know anything about this shooting, you should call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. Happening today, we expect to learn more about a plan to expand EMS services in Bullitt County. The Zone 10 Fire Chief says the department plans to apply for a certificate of need to operate a ground ambulance service. This would allow the department to operate its own ambulances. The fire chief is expected to give more details about the plan and a possible timeline to start the new service during a news conference at 10 o'clock this morning. A resolution urging parents and guardians to know where their children are at night is advancing in Metro Council. The measure was introduced by Councilwoman Barbara Shanklin in response to some of the youth violence that we've seen over the summer. She says, with school starting, it's important for parents to be actively involved in creating a safe city for everyone.
I've seen where a couple of kids that got killed at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're just trying to encourage mom to, even if she had to get up during the night, get up and check to see if little Billy or whoever's in the house, because they do slip out.
There's no punishment spelled out in the resolution for parents who don't follow it. It recently passed committee and now heads to the full council for consideration. As more and more students return to the classroom, officials are reminding drivers to be safe on the roads. As school buses get out on those roads, you should always watch for stopped buses in the mornings and afternoons. If a school bus is stopped, you should always be on high alert for children getting on or off those buses. You should also know the rules of passing a school bus on a single or double lane highway. Many parents are wondering when their bus will drop off the kids at school and when the kids will be returned home. A construction project in East Louisville could impact that timing, though. Metro Council member Scott Reed says he's contacted city and state transportation leaders about the construction along the Watterson Expressway near Brownsboro and Westport roads. We've told you about how a $130 million project in the area has caused frustration for some drivers. Councilmember Reed says traffic signal operators from KYTC will be tweaking signal timing along the stretch to hopefully keep things moving smoothly. Well, thanks so much for joining us here for Sunrise Extra. Hope you have a great day and a happy first day of school for those kids.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning. This is Shannon Kogan. I'm coming to you live from the Nichols bus compound, where it is JCPS's first day of school. They have 651 bus drivers plus 25 truck drivers who will be leaving here, going to pick up all of those kids, more than 96,000, to get them to school on time. There are 3 staggered start times for schools. If you have any questions about your child's bus route, you can call 485-RIDE. That hotline is open right now. It'll be open until 7 o'clock tonight. Some changes this year. The big ones include no cell phones at all throughout the entire day of school. Also, there'll be a moment of silence in the morning to start the school day. And also, it's the first day of school for Superintendent Dr. Brian Yearwood. But I can tell you, it is humid, it is damp, it is sticky, Tawana. It's not a great weather today.
An eye on that as well across our region. We're watching more of that patchy fog anywhere from parts of Meade County all the way up into Lawrence County, but many of us getting to enjoy the blue skies to start off the day. Those temperatures are sitting in the 60s and the low 70s right now. We'll end up near 90 this afternoon with isolated rain chances in the forecast.
Morning. Around I-264 and 65, that interchange there, a bit slow this morning. Also 64 headed eastbound in southern Indiana. Plus that Bardstown Road area, especially along I-265, really slow this morning. It doesn't look like you're going to be stopped for too terribly long, though, so hopefully it's making for a nice commute on the first day of school.